Hello there, delightful makers. I'm back with another intermediate block. This is the squared chain, and it's about to get wild because this block has the dreaded inset seam. You can see here on the back that these 4 pieces all crisscross over each other. But don't stress, because I am going to show you every step, and I will talk you through every step that you need to make this block. The first step to the squared chain is going to be to sew this little B rectangle to the A square. So it is going to go to the top like this, but you'll notice that it's hanging off about 1/2 inch, and that is okay. It is supposed to do that. So we are going to put this here, and you are going to stitch, I'm going to do it on this side, along this edge up to 1/4 inch. You're going to leave a 1/4 inch opening. So what I'm going to do to help me out a little bit is I'm going to use my little 1/4 inch marker here, and I'm just going to draw a little line with my water soluble pen where that 1/4 inch is, so I know where to stop. Okay, so I had to sew from this direction because that's where the direction my sewing machine needed to go. So I actually started here where the mark is, and I sewed all the way down 1/4 inch, and I've left this little 1/4 inch opening. You can see it there like that. So now I'm going to press this out towards the gray, and you can see that it's hanging off over the edge, and that is okay because this is where our 4th seam is going to go, our inset seam. So I have pressed it open, and you can see I tried really hard to make sure this was a nice crisp 1/4 inch press there. So it has a nice crisp 1/4 inch pressed under. And then my next step will be to take the D rectangle, and this one fits. So I'm going to just put this on here and sew it all the way down. Now the next step is to take the other B, and it fits here. Oh, sorry, it was this direction. Take the other B, and it fits there. So we're going to sew it to the bottom along this edge. All right. Now it is time to add this final piece that is going to go into this right here. So we are going to pull this back, and I may actually even pin that, and then we are going to set this here, and we're going to sew from here to the end. Okay, so we have pressed this open. So that is the final D, and we're going to let that fall back into place. And so you can see how it all lines up. And we sewed D all the way up. We're folding it open, and then we're going to have to pull this down. And you have a seam allowance here, so it's going to pull that too. But we are now going to stitch from where that marked line was. We're now going to stitch this the rest of the way and get that into its spot. All right, so you can see now how that has been sewn all the way across. So I will press that open, and it really doesn't need much pressing because I had already pressed it and pressed the fabric under. But here is the block, and when I flip it over on the back, you can see now that there are 4 intersecting seams. Now the next step will be to sew C onto each side of this block. I do want to make sure this block is facing the correct direction. So make sure the lighter or medium grays are at the top and the bottom. So we're going to sew it like that. After that, the next step will be to sew 2F on each side of E. We're going to do 2 of these. So we'll do 1 of these and then 2 of these. All right, so I have my 2 just square strips, and then I have my center strip, and we are going to sew them together into a block like this. I have pressed the top and bottom strips towards the center, the darker piece. I have pressed the middle strip towards the outside, so they will nest and line up really nicely. So there is our block. This is the squared chain block. So once it's quilted and you don't really see the seams, you have this cool little effect where it looks like the darker colors are intersecting around that center square. This is an amazing block to use multiple times because it makes really cool patterns across a quilt. So I hope that you enjoy making this block. Don't be afraid of that little inset seam. You've got this, and I hope you have been inspired to make something beautiful.